Welcome back to CTV Morning Live, 9:17. Time for Ask the Expert. Our friends from K3C Credit Counselling are here. It's an opportunity for you to ask questions and get an answer from an expert. That's what it's all about. 613-789-6559, extension 2803. You can also email us, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca, or Facebook us, CTV Ottawa Morning Live. Simple as that. Joel Grise is here from K3C Credit Counselling. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Thanks for having me on.
Good to see you again. This is the time of year, especially when you must get pretty busy.
Well, yes.
I would think.
Yes,
after
the bills
Christmas
start
season.
to pile in.
That's
and,
right. That's right.
People start to take stock on some of the expenses that they've had over the last month or three.
Right.
And it tends to be a little bit more than we anticipated at times.
Right,
and
And I mean, you know, I often look at the stats about people, how much they're shopping and how much they're buying and so on and so forth. But let's face it, for a lot of people, going all out at Christmas is a big thing to them, right? It's a big thing, and sometimes they're stretching their limits.
Well, what happens is there's an expectation as well. Christmas is rolling around. There's the kids are having, there's all the demands that the kids are putting on families, and there's a lot of pressure to go out there and get all those things that the kids want, and it's not only the kids, Kurt. It's the teachers, and it's the daycare providers, and then it's the extended families, and there's really no end to it.
It can cost you a lot of dough.
Absolutely,
there's no question. And in a lot of cases, that money you spend, those things that you buy, are bought on credit. And suddenly, the next thing you know, you find yourself in a bit of difficulty.
And it's hard to pinpoint how much money you're putting on your credit card. It's one thing after the next. So you're not really paying attention, and it's true. Next thing you know, you get your bill, and you say, "Holy crap, what happened?"
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Joel, do you find one of the biggest problems is people find themselves in this situation, and then they really don't know what to do because you've exhausted things at the bank, like can't go in and refinance anymore, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then you get to that point in this situation where you're like,
where do I go?
What now? What am I going to do now? They're going to take my house, or what? The things my cars, they're going to repossess my car and all this sort of thing. And then you have to make some decisions as to who you're going to talk to.
Well, the problem is it's not only the fact that your bank has turned you down, but you also start thinking, well, the only way I have to go is going bankrupt.
Yeah.
Right? That's what people say. Okay, well, I can't make my payments anymore. I must be bankrupt. And that's not always the case. There's other options out there that are somewhere in the middle that allows people to pay back their debt and not
file bankruptcy.
Sure.
Because I don't know about everybody else, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like me who think, to me, that's my last resort. It's the last thing I ever want to do.
Kurt, people want to pay back their debt. I think in general, most people that come in, they really, really want to pay back their debt. They feel, I got myself in this position. I just need a break, and I need to find out how to pay back all my debt. Right?
Is it fair to say, like, I don't want to come down on people who file bankruptcy, because sometimes that is the solution.
Yes, it
is. It is the way to go.
It is.
And if the circumstances dictate that, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
But if there's another option, a lot of people want to take it. Right?
Yes, and it's a saving grace if they see another option, because you're right. People generally don't say, "Oh, geez, I'm going to go bankrupt today."
Yeah.
They do everything they can to try to avoid that. They go to the bank, they try to refinance, they talk to their parents sometimes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they face it by themselves.
Yeah. It's a lonely thing.
It very much is a very lonely thing to face.
So I want to talk to somebody like you. How do I select which company I want to go with? Because to me, and you and I were talking about this earlier, you take a look at the television screens. Everywhere you look, you're being bombarded with people who want to look after your finances for you.
I got a phone call the other day.
Are you getting phone calls?
I got a phone call. They're saying if you have more than $10,000 in debt, press 1. And
is that right?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I got the.
How funny is that?
I pressed 1.
a little bit ironic. Yeah. So they're ringing our phones now too?
Yes, they are, and they're on the radio and they're on TV, and we had to basically follow suit a little bit, because if people don't know that you're out there, then they're going to call these companies, and you want to make sure that people do some research and make sure that if you're going to call and you're going to commit to something, that you're committing to something that's reputable, that will see you through the end and has your best interest in mind.
Are a lot of these American companies, like companies that come from somebody or somewhere
Absolutely, yes. I would say that 90% of them are from across the border.
Yeah.
I also would say that a lot of their call centers, because they're all call centers, none of these places have bricks and mortar in Ottawa.
Yeah.
So you call a call center.
Unlike you. Right?
You call a call center, absolutely, and then and you don't know who you're speaking to.
Yeah.
It could be from.
Yeah.
I think there's a company in Florida, some in the in California.
Who knows where their call centers are?
And
too.
do they really know all our laws? And a lot of these advertisings, they make it sound like our government has this new incentive to get people out of debt and to settle with creditors. Well, that's misleading. There is no incentive. The government is not stepping in to say, okay, well, we want people out of debt, so we're going to put on these incentives. That has not happened as of yet.
Okay. All right, I'll tell you what, we'll take a commercial break, but we'll talk more about how you should select a credit counseling company, what's involved in that, and the floor is open, my friends, for you to ask your questions. Here's what you do. Call us, 613-789-6559, extension 2803. Email us, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. You can also Facebook and tweet us with questions. So get on that. K3C Credit Counseling here to help you today with some free advice, all right? 9:23, more of Ask the Expert coming right up.